Talking with Aleesha, a series where I talk to extraordinary women. The purpose of the series is to shed light on stories of women that we don't usually get to hear, and it's a great way to show women in just a more diverse and authentic way. So today I have Naima Ahmed, and she's actually the youngest guest that I've ever had. It's super cool, it's super amazing, and she's actually the creator of STEM which is an amazing initiative that celebrates women in STEM. So, hi Naima, thank you for being here.
I'm glad to be here. And as Aleesha said, I am very young.
Yeah.
I'm 17. And the message behind stemforfem that I've been trying to get out is that I just want more inclusiveness amongst this community.
Yeah. And has that started just from your experiences in high school and, growing up?
Well, there's actually a very key event that happened in my life that, put this all into motion.
Yeah.
It was mainly my physics teacher, who I have a lot of respect for, but he had a very biased vision when it came to women in STEM.
Mm-hmm.
And he would always try to limit me and how much I did in that class. And that used to bother me a lot because I'm in love with everything physics and math and stuff like that. Yeah. And the fact that someone could take that away from me just because I wasn't the right gender.
Yeah.
Or the way I looked was different.
Mm-hmm. No, that's so surprising that even in high school, were there other girls in your class that might have felt the same way?
Yes. Actually, what would happen is that no one would take that class if they were a girl because they were trying to avoid the teacher. Oh, no. But I thought, why not take it? Because I love this subject, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you definitely should, especially if you love it. So it's amazing how you saw the kind of injustice that you were facing, or you saw the prejudice that you were facing, and you took it to create something really cool and amazing. So can you explain to us what stemforfem is? And I'm sure you're working on another non-profit as well. I saw.
Actually, I'm trying to create stemforfem as a non-profit now, and I still don't have a team, which is exactly why I was looking for a team.
Yeah.
But basically, I created this to be able to group everyone in one community, and for girls like me who felt like they weren't included in something.
Yeah.
It's to help them feel more included.
No, it's amazing, and I've seen your Instagram, so it's basically, I guess it's in its baby stages right now.
Yes, it's in there.
Yeah, so it's like an Instagram, and you just post all these amazing women in STEM, and I feel like that's so important, just to get more women out there, and just so if someone comes across your profile and they might be feeling like, oh, I don't really fit in with the STEM world, they see, content like yours, and they feel like there are people like them.
Yeah.
A similar thing happened with me where in my real life I didn't really see that many women in engineering, and I felt like that kind of disconnect. But when I came online and I was part of the community, I felt a lot more included, and I felt like there are the women like me, and it is possible. So it's really cool what you're doing at such a young age. I can't wait to see what it's going to be like in the next coming years as well. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, it is.
So you're already so passionate about science.
Yeah.
What how did it start like?
Actually, weird enough, I'm Bengali, which is a small country near India.
Yeah.
And over there they do have gender stereotypes, but they also push their women or girls or daughters to go pursue something in science. So
Yeah,
from a
no,
young
it's yeah.
age, my mom and dad, they've both pushed me and put me in classes where I have to think outside of the box and I have to think of different things and learn about like everything science and math. And like I grew to fall in love with it because you can be so creative with something.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, I completely agree. With me as well, I'm Pakistani, so it's a similar kind of
Mm-hmm.
upbringing, I feel like, where it's as you said, and I've realized this with a lot of people, there obviously are like gender issues, you know, back home,
Yeah.
so many different types, but in regards to women taking science, it's actually pretty
Yeah.
equal there. And yeah, everyone, they encourage everyone to pursue science, so it's
Mm-hmm.
really cool. So you're currently going, you know, you finished high school, you're finishing it, and you're starting college, well, your college applications. What
Yes.
advice would you give to someone who is just about to start high school, or, you know, even is someone that's going through a similar process like yours? What have you
Yeah.
learned through it?
I would tell them to not listen to anyone else about what type of classes you should take because they'll really show who you are in a way. Like you'll be able to figure out more about yourself when you take more difficult classes, and then when you go to college, it'll be easier for you.
Yeah. No, definitely. You should definitely go for things that you enjoy and things that
Mm-hmm.
you want to
Exactly.
do. And being a woman of colour, do you think that's affected your journey in a way, or do you think, you know, how's that impacted, you know, your just education life as well?
Yeah, well, people have assumed that with the Indian stereotype, we're all just smart and
Yeah.
we're all just naturally smart and we don't have to study and everything like that. But the reality to that is that I like to do different things. Like, I like doing arts and I like doing stuff like that. And I don't know, when people look at me, they just assume.
Yeah, that you're super smart or
Yeah.
you're gonna be,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I feel like one of the best things that we should push is mixing sciences with other subjects and not
Yeah,
treating it like a singular thing.
exactly.
I feel like that's when the best inventions and best things are created. Just because science is so diverse in our day to day life, it's not just
Mm-hmm.
a subject or a topic. It's part
Yeah.
of every single part of our lives. So, no, definitely. And I feel like more scientists, a lot of scientists are creative. I think you need to be creative to be a
Yeah.
scientist as well. It's really good.
I
Yeah.
I think when people think of science nowadays, there's this negative stigma around it where they think it's just someone sitting with a lot of books and studying the basics, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's thinking out of the box.
No,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. What other stereotypes do you hear about science? This is not relating to women as well. What are the
Mm-hmm.
stereotypes? Because I've heard
Well,
like it's too hard or you need to be super smart to do it.
yeah, I've heard a lot about like how much, yeah, as you said, how smart you have to be.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be a genius to be a scientist.
And I feel like
No,
that kind of limits people. I feel like that kind of deters people away, if you get what I'm saying. They're like, oh, I'm
yeah.
not super smart, or oh, I find maths and physics really hard. I can't do it. I can't major in science. I can't major in like the sciences.
Well, to those people, I would just tell them you have to try at
Yeah,
everything in your life. You don't get anything easily.
no,
So
definitely.
scientists, they're just not smart like that. They also have to study. They also have to research to
Yeah,
get to the
there's a
point.
lot of hard work. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like passion is so much more important than
Yeah.
intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be passionate. You have to go for it. And yeah, if you enjoy the subject, definitely take it. So there's so much going on in the STEM world right now. in the science and tech world. What's one cool thing that you've discovered and you're excited about, or that you've learned recently?
Well, I have always been a space geek, and I'm watching very closely at what SpaceX is doing right now. And they made a very big claim. They said they were going to get to Mars by 2024, and I'm like looking forward to that.
Yeah, that is
And
really
if
cool.
you
Yeah.
didn't know, I actually want to be an aerospace engineer. That's
Wow.
also part of the reason why I'm like a space geek in that
That
way.
is so
Yeah.
cool. That is so cool. So you're obsessed with everything space and physics and
Uh-huh.
maths.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I was reading this book called My Mathematical Universe, and that's all to do with space and physics. I've never really like gone in depth with physics. Like I've done like during high school and stuff, but not in depth. But it's just so crazy to see how everything was discovered and how big the universe is and just how
Mm-hmm.
many things that we need to find. It's like endless amount of possibilities.
Well, I have like a more attraction towards physics because it's kind of like that science where you can't really see it in front of you, but you just have to believe that it's there.
Yeah, that is so
And like,
true. Yeah.
I don't know, I really like that. That's why.
Yeah, no, I complete. Yeah, going off your point, it's like they was saying how physicists in the past time discovered how stars their
Yeah.
temperature, the distance they are, how big they are, and that was all from like doing math. Because from the eye, what you can see is a distant speck in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you can see, but there's so much to it, so it is so interesting, and it's great that you're doing it, and it's great that you're not letting anything like deter you on your journey to becoming an aerospace engineer. That's really cool.
Well, I kind of created stemforfem out of necessity
Yeah.
because I don't have that supportive group
Environment.
of
Yeah.
people per
Mm-hmm.
se that I think you must have in order to go on like
Yeah.
a STEM based career path, because it gets so hard that it's like you feel like giving up, but when you have that group of people,
Yeah.
they kind of motivate you, and this was my group of people. Like, this is my community.
No, definitely. And just because you're just starting, um,
Mm-hmm.
it only gets harder. Like,
Yeah, I know that.
yeah, during your
Yeah.
college years, and you'd face more stereotypes, and especially in the working world, which I feel like it's a completely different playing field. So
Yeah.
it's good that you have that mentality, and it's good that you have that group where you can just say how you feel and confide in someone, and you can always message me as well if you have any kind of relating issues as well. And what do you think the best way is to then encourage more girls into the sciences?
I think if from a young age they do a lot more interactive
Mm-hmm.
workshops
Yeah.
where actually when I was in middle school, that's when coding became a really big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So my teacher brought coding to us, and that's where I first learned how to do it, and I loved it. But I feel like if more children
Yeah.
in that fact, not even girls, just children in general, they have access to resources like that, then I think more people would go for a STEM based career.
No, definitely, and I agree with you. That's very good advice, because the earlier you're exposed to it, the more you feel like you can do it, and the more like you're not really listening to the negative stereotypes. Whereas
Yeah.
if the first time you've really experienced science in an interactive way is in when you're 14 or something, then
Yeah.
obviously you
Then
have those.
you're allowed to grow into it,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And that's all the questions that I have. Thank you so much. It was so exciting and just really inspiring to get to speak to you. And see how much that you're doing at such a young age. Is there anything else that you would wanted to add or wanted to say?
Not really, but it's just very cool to see that I'm getting interviewed for the first time and
No,
not
it's cool.
me
I'm
doing it
honored
to
to
other
be
people.
your first interviewer.
Yeah.
Oh my God. First of many more, I can imagine, hopefully.
Hopefully,
Yeah, first
if
of many more.
I have enough support to get stemforfem
Yeah,
to that position.
yeah, no, definitely. It seems like it's a really cool initiative.